Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am starting a new series. We are going to be doing mosaic quilt blocks. This series is going to be similar to like my easy quilt block series where you just see me make a block or two. I'm not going to be completing a project. I won't be making a quilt. The reason why is because there are so many different ways to make mosaic blocks and or stained glass blocks. I'll tell you the difference to me in a minute. And I've never really done any of them. I practiced last night on one block and just put a few pieces together and I was like, oh my God, I have to hurry up and show this. My intention was to try a few different methods, pick the method I liked the best and show you that and take you through all the way to the making of a mini quilt. I can't wait that long. I just want us to all learn this together. Many of you probably know all this already, but for those of you who don't or who just want to follow me and see how I learn as I go, then that's what this series is for. So first of all, mosaic. When I think of mosaic, I think of tiles that are like broken. You can buy tiles, but you know, some people just like break a plate and use all the pieces and you glue them down and you put what I'm going to call grout between the tiles. I know grout is for between tiles, but generally that is used like for kitchen floors and bathroom walls, stuff like that. There is another word for what we do with mosaic when it's decorative, but I can't think of it at all. I've tried to even look it up and I'm stumped. But mosaic doesn't have to be just all scattered like that. It can be symmetrical, like some people will put, you know, a triangle tile and then other triangles around it and some square tiles, things like that. Stained glass to me is generally a picture, or at least a picture with other, you know, things around it, like you might have, you know, dandelions, or everyone is usually familiar with stained glass windows in a church. It's always a picture. It's not just like colored pieces everywhere. Generally those have black lines, and I don't think it's called grout at all when it's stained glass. It's either lead or something. There's something else going on, which is why it was black, and it's not like in between, it's like raised. So I don't know all the terms, but we're going to do mosaic and maybe some stained glass, or at least mosaic blocks that have some kind of a picture. I actually will go there at some point where we can just draw something very abstract on paper, cut that paper up. It will involve fusing, putting things on a foundation. We'll get there. That is my goal. We're going to start out very simple, just tiles with grout between them. I will still be doing my other blocks when I can, the easy quilt blocks and the quilt block party where I am embellishing the crazy quilt blocks that I did. All that stuff is still here. This is just another series thrown in the mix. So let's just get started. For the first block that I show you guys, I am going with conservative. I'm not using prints. I am using some of these fabrics. Many of you are familiar with these. I sold some Wonky strips like these and some other cuts. I just thought that it would be good to start out with. You can start with any fabrics you want. Don't even worry about things like matching or needing to go together. Let's just learn the process, and then when we find something that we like to do, we can go ahead and, you know, do a whole quilt that way. So I will be cutting my tiles out of these fabrics, and I am going to go ahead and use black as my grout. I did buy white also. I will be doing some with white in future videos so we can get a visual as to how it looks. This one happens to be a mottled black. You can see that there's, you know, variation. I liked that very much. This is going to be very much like crumb quilting, only a little bit more planning in this. There are ways to cut corners if you are ever going to make an entire quilt with this exact method that I'm doing today. You can still create strip sets where you put your tiles and sew them on your grout all at once. This is going to be cut in strips, and you can build in that way. I'm just going to do, you know, one step at a time in this one. We're just going to create one block. So let's say I want a tile that looks like that. And let's cut a darker pink one. Let's get the salvage off there. Let's do this one like narrow, kind of like that. And let's say that I would want those two together. That would be good. There's going to be grout in the middle. Now, I already know that I'm going to want to put these two together, and then I'll put another two together, and then those will go together with this. So let's go ahead and plan for the other two right now. Do I want both pinks like that? Yes, I'm not going to be fussy. I'm going to do whatever just comes naturally. So let's say I want a piece like that there. Let's cut this to here so we can include another color. And it doesn't have to be this well thought out. You can just, wing it. And I'm very new to this, so I'm just, learning as I go too. But let's, for the heck of it, start with this. I'm going to press my black, my grout lines, and I'm going to cut some maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide strips. I pressed my black fabric, and I'm just going to go ahead and, put it back together where this is the folded edge and these are the salvages. And I'm going to cut my strips lengthwise. Makes sense to me. This is just a remnant that I just picked up at Martin's. It was perfect for my project. I'm going to just fold it like a couple of times, and I'm just going to cut like an inch strip, and I'm not even using a ruler or anything because I don't care if it's straight. In fact, we kind of want the lines between our pieces to be wonky, and we will do that as we go. So I have a strip that looks like this. Don't recall such a glare with the light. What gives? All right, I need my other glasses. For this particular method, thread color does not matter because we're not doing any top stitching. So here's the 4 little pieces I want to put together. I need some grout between those two and between those two, and then we'll be putting them all together. So let's just move these 2 pieces aside and let's work here. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to add some of my black. Just going to take my strip, going to match up the edges. Let's see here. And I'm just going to sew. And this is where I said, if you wanted to do a whole quilt, you could just take this black strip and attach a whole bunch of pieces and cut them just like we do in crumb quilts. And don't think you have to go out and find fabrics that all work together. Use your crumbs to practice with this. So I'm going to just, roughly trim this, make sure I have enough on each side, and I'm going to press this open. Just going to put these 2 together like this. We will be doing trimming just like with the crumb blocks. So I have this little guy. Ooh, my black is very narrow. Not sure I wanted it that narrow. Let's put these 2 guys together. And I pressed that. And now I want that kind of sort of on top of it. Now we want to put these 2 guys together so you can decide, do you want it this way or this way? I kind of like this way. What we need are 2 straight lines. So I just cut, you know me, I just eyeball it. So I'm going to cut a straight line this way. I'm still cutting at an angle. You can cut at an angle if you want. We just want the edge to be straight. And see, this has got, this fabric there. So let me cut this too. Just trim this off. That's going to be great. But we need some grout. Between everything you connect, you need a piece of your strip fabric. So let's move this aside. Let's add the strip to this guy. And now we can add this guy to it. And this is the beginning of our mosaic block, and I already love it. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4 other little blocks similar to this. We will join those 4, and from there we'll cut our final block. One thing I did is I cut some pieces. I cut my tiles, and that's why I was saying go to your crumb stash and just pull out fabrics. I just felt like using these, and I have some little pieces, some bigger pieces, and it's just really cool when they go together. Like, I'd like to do something with these. I like that. A big piece and 2 little pieces that are going to connect to this big piece. So let's do that for this one. I'm just experimenting, so I'm going to try all kinds of things. I have these two that work well together. They don't have to be the exact same size. So let's move on and do something else. I want to make 2 more blocks. I'd like to try one with a little piece. Don't I have a little tiny piece here somewhere? I don't know. Let's try something like this. So I'm going to make another 3 patch, and then the last one we'll go back to another 4 patch. If you go ahead and do a quilt like this, you're going to need a surprisingly large amount of grout. I don't know exactly in yardage what you would need, but it goes quick. So make sure it's something you have a lot of or that you can get your hands on more of. Okay, let's put these 2 together like that. And let's do a little 4 patch again. That was the little piece I was looking for. Don't need it now. Let's see, this could go like this and here. Maybe a chunk like that. And a piece there. Oh, here's a piece of blue. Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll put these 2 together. When attaching the other piece, oh, and it's going to be this way. So you don't have to do it straight like that. You can make it wonky so that it's narrower, you know, grout on one side. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it like uneven. I'm not going to follow the black line, the black edge, I should say. Put these 2 together. Always remember to add your grout. If you've just done a bunch of crumb quilting, you might be tempted to put those 2 pieces together. Because I was tempted to do that each time so far. But we need the grout in between. And we're going to add that. Okay, I have, I could make this out more. Let me think a second. I just had to think about it because it's a little bit different than with the crumb quilting. Okay, I'm going to build this corner. I need grout first, and then I am going to put a piece, but I'm not going to worry about this because we don't need grout there yet, because that's still going to be an edge, you know, the edge of the block. So first let me decide. It's a good little lesson for us. I could do a pink. I don't have pink yet. So I'll be adding this piece, but we need some grout. So let's put some grout just here. Out of top thread, so none of that sewed. And it's cool that it didn't get sewn because I wanted to tell you something and I was like in the middle of sewing, so I thought, well, I'll just skip it. If you're not sure like how far to put the strip, first of all, you could do it this whole way. If you wanted to put your grout this way and sew all the way, when you open that, it's just going to give it like this, and then you can do the whole pink all the way down. But I'm doing just this piece. So I'm just going to like find the angle that I want, and I'm going to just let the fabric naturally go off the edge. You know, I'm not going to start here because this corner of this fabric is not going off the edge. So this is the angle I want. I'm just going to go down till it goes off the edge, and I'm going to start, you know, right where that bottom fabric starts. Or you can start a little further and it'll just attach at the right place every time. Now here I have that edge of the blue. I'm just going to follow that line, and we'll worry about grout there later when it's needed. Now, is my pink going to actually be long enough? It's not, is it? Let me cut another piece of pink. Do I have something long enough? The blue is long enough. Let's just go with the blue. So now I'm going to add this corner, but I'm going to follow this line when I cut. So let's just put this on here, and I let it go off the edge. Now I'm going to cut along this line to kind of make this a little bit squarer. You certainly don't have to do this. I just wanted to do it because I wanted to see if I could do it, and I figured I'd show you. Like that, and then, you know, I could leave that like that, or I can, you know, square this up a little bit. So that's how you would fill in a corner. And again, we don't have to worry about this edge. There will be grout there if we attach it to something else. So now let's look at our 4 pieces that we made. Some will be significantly bigger than others. I'm going to arrange these 4 pieces and put them together. Then they'll be trimmed. I think I'm gonna like this guy up here. Let's see, like this. And this one here, like this. This guy like this. Let's start with the top 2. Well, you can't even see. I'm going to be putting those 4 together. Then I will be trimming and making a block. So I'm going to start by putting these 2 together, and then I will put these 2 together. Let me just move those 2 for right now. These 2 together. So I just need 2 straight lines. This one's already a straight line, like this. But I need my grout. Now I can attach this piece to it. I made the letter M. Kind of looks like, or a couple of A's. And now I said I was going to put these 2 together. Let me see here. Yes, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to put them together this way. Straight line. Grout. And I'm going to need to cut some more grout there in a second. Oh, I love when that happens. Just a little piece there. Cutting another strip. Now we're going to put this together with this. And you can tell I'm still not like planning with colors. And if I wanted, I can still like decide, do I want to flip this over? I kind of like it that way. So I guess I could make my straight line this way. Let's go like this. And let's make my straight line a little straighter here, like this. These 2 will go together, but I need grout. And that's going to go on there. That's not cut quite straight line. Let's just straighten that out a little bit. I'm having a hard time to get that straight. But I can see it when I lay it down. But there, that's better. So it's going to go here. I'm sad. I would have liked to be able to get a 6-inch block out of there, but I don't have what it takes unless I were to add a piece, and I will, because this is how we learn. So I'm going to be adding, I'm okay this way. I have 6 inches, but I need a little bit wider. So what I could do is add 1 big long piece of grout and then a long strip of fabric. Or I can build another little strip of fabric with like fabric, grout, and then attaching it to there. I'm going to do that. And I don't want to be too narrow. I want to make sure I get it right. That will not be quite long enough, so let's put some other fabric in between. How about like that? That should work for us. A little bit more extra steps, but that's okay. Let me see if it will be long enough. Yes, it will, if I do it that way especially. So let's make a straight line here. Going to go ahead and add some grout here. Okay, I'm going to cut my straight line. And hopefully I can get 6 inches out of this. I can. Let's go cut this baby. I haven't said this in a long time, but I have to. Hot alert! It's fucking hot in here. It's hot under these lights. The stuff we actresses have to go through. I think for my very first mosaic block ever of any kind, played with a few pieces last night but did not make a block, I love it. It is a little weird that we have the 2 long lines going down. How did that happen? I didn't plan it that way, but I'm okay with it. I will say, this is definitely more time consuming than the crumb quilting. However, it's the very first time I do it. So I had a lot of thinking that I had to do. for sure, I would find an easier way to do this. I would do strip piecing. I would do chain piecing. I would be doing all that. I would probably be building like 4 or 5 blocks at once. I would never bother to just put one block together at a time. But I absolutely love it. And like I said, you would not want to put the grout around the block until you know what you're going to do. If you know you're going to be putting them together and you want extra wide black around them, you could. But you don't need to. You might want to just sash the blocks, but you would only need the black on one side and then attach the other block. So I would say just wait till you have all your blocks made and lay them out and then decide where the grout has to go. So I just really like this though. I do like the black. I will do some with white. And again, it's purely coincidental that I have like these two like little mountains in the center. I mean, I'm not like thrilled with the way the design came out because it doesn't look quite random enough. I don't know. But I'm not complaining. I do like it. I like the process, and I think it would be super cool put together with a whole bunch of other blocks. Hey, let me do one simple design on the design board with this one block, just so we can see what it would look like if it was completed. I will do that for you. So thank you so much for watching. And like I said, I'm not doing a quilt out of this. I will just be doing some more different kinds of mosaic blocks. I do have some that I think will be easier. It's a little bit different, and even I was not used to it when I played with it, and this is a method that I made up. I'm sure it probably exists out there, but I have not seen it. And I thought, what if we were to do this? So I will probably do that one next. And again, I don't know how it will turn out, but we'll find out, right? I think it will be quicker and easier than this. We're gonna find out. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my quilt block series, and I will be back with more soon. Bye! I wanted to mention quickly, I think this would have a whole different look if the black lines were not as wide, but I would not really want to work with a very narrow strip of black. But if the pieces were bigger, you know, if you wanted to make bigger blocks, like 12-inch blocks, and use bigger pieces of fabric, and then, you know, the lines this width, it might look more cool. I think there's an awful lot of black going on in this. It's probably a little overpowering, but again, we'll see how it looks on the design board.